Hello, everyone. This is Carla Royal, and I want to talk to you today about your attention and where you place your attention. So, a few years back, I got my first pair of trifocals, and I remember the first time I tried going down the steps in trifocals. And of course, the bottom part of your lens is for close up, and the mid part is for about the range of the distance of your computer, and then the top part is for distance. So if you're looking straight down like you normally do, you're looking through the close up and everything's blurry. And I just remember really kind of stumbling down the steps, trying to keep my balance, try to not fall. And then it occurred to me that if I stopped looking right at my feet, I could make it down those stairs. And what I mean to say is that my legs knew what to do. My legs have gone down stairs without looking at the stairs all of my life. I don't need to look down at my feet. And there's a way in which, by focusing so close to me on my feet, it caused me to just want to stumble. And I realized if I just looked down to the bottom of the steps, I would be fine. And that's how I go down steps now with my trifocals on. And you could think about throwing a ball. When you throw a ball, you don't have your focus on the ball. You actually have your focus on where you want to throw it. You can also think about riding a bike. It's the same thing. If you focus on your handlebars or on your feet, or even just directly in front of you, it's going to be more difficult to move down the road. You actually need to look at a little distance down in order to ride your bike. You could almost think of it as attention creates the pathway and action follows. So attention is your pathway. So it's very important to notice where your attention is. If our attention right now, I would say, is under siege. With everything moving online and there's so many things pulling at our attention, and I think that leaves us feeling pretty ungrounded. It leaves us oftentimes feeling pretty wobbly. So I want you to think about a time when things looked pretty bleak, when you were going through a very, very difficult time. And I don't want you to dwell there. I'm not trying to dredge up a bad memory, but I just want you to notice how at some time later you realize you were okay, that all the things you thought were going to happen, all the bad things you thought were going to happen, while some bad things may have happened, you really did find your way. Can you think of a situation where you just were kind of terrified about it, and then it ended up working out okay? I can think of several. I remember when I first got out of college, I was hired as a bank teller. Now, anybody who knows me knows that finances, money, math, that is not my thing. I am left brain. I am right brain, not left brain. And well, it didn't take long for them to fire me because I couldn't balance. And I remember just being mortified. But listen, it was a great thing, because can you imagine me trying to have a career in finance or banking? It would have been horrible. So I got they fired me within the first month or two, and it was a great thing because it led me to where I am today. So that's just one example. Another example is when my mother died. That was one of only a couple of the worst things that has ever happened to me in my life. It was devastating for me, and I went into a tailspin for about 4 years. And looking back now, some years later, I can see that experience for me actually changed me in profound and wonderful ways. It actually got me off of a path and onto a new path that is much more congruent with who I am. So, and even in the midst of that, I was so focused on the negative when through those 4 years after my mother died, that I couldn't see all of the good around me. And there was quite a lot of good around me, quite a lot of good around me. So um, I've talked about this so many times about our brain's negativity bias. The truth is, when we look for the negative, we will find the negative. When we look for the positive, we will find the positive. So if you are feeling extraordinarily stressed right now, anxiety, agitation, sad, mad, whatever it may be, then those emotions can actually wake you up like an alarm clock and remind you to look at where you are placing your attention. So I'm not suggesting that bad things aren't happening. I'm not suggesting that if you move your attention to the positive, that everything will be hunky-dory. What I am suggesting, that if you turn your attention to the positive, it's going to help settle your nervous system down. It's going to help bring a little more joy into your life. It's going to help you get more centered and grounded so that you are able now to find your own resourcefulness, your own wisdom, your own resilience to move through whatever difficulties are uh, in your life right now. So it's very, very, very important to see where your attention is. Attention creates the pathway. So if your attention is on the negative, then you're going down a negative pathway. If your attention is on the positive, then you're going down a positive path. So that's what I have for you today. It's very simple. I know I repeat some of these things often, and the reason is because if you're anything like me, and if you're anything like so many of my clients, we simply need to be reminded again and again and again. I know I do. Part of why I do these videos is to remind myself, because I too can get caught up in looking for the negative and freaking out about it. And I have to remind myself also to look for the good, the true, and the beautiful. So today I invite you to take a break, take a breath, and look around and see what you can see. See what is true and good and beautiful right here, right now, even in the midst of difficult things. I can remember, I'll just tell this one last story. I remember sitting on the bed with my dad when he was dying of cancer, and it was pretty close to the end at that point. And I just remember sitting with him, and we were looking out his window, and he just said, "Carla, look at that beautiful cardinal." And we both just looked at that beautiful cardinal, and tears arose in both of our eyes, because it was just like this little sacred moment in the middle of a painful situation. And it just filled our hearts, and it also increased our connection to one another. And it was just such a sweet and tender moment. So I want you to know that even in the midst of whatever you're going through, and I know that there's some difficult things happening in the world right now, that you can find the good, the true, and the beautiful. And as you look, as you put your attention there, you're going to find that you're not quite so wobbly. You're going to find that you can access your own clarity, wisdom, and resourcefulness. So I hope you'll consider this today. I am Carla Royal, a mindset and performance coach, and you can find me at carlaroyal.com. And feel free also to follow me on LinkedIn. You can find these videos there, and I would love for you to join me. I'll leave a link below to my LinkedIn profile. Thank you, and have a great day.